Alrighty. Well, good morning, everybody. As usual, you are now listening to K-Talk Radio. My name is Scott Stallings, and we've got the Prepared guy here with us today. How you doing?
PrepperCon Radio. I'm here. Happy to be here.
Well, we're pretty excited. We've got some cool guests coming on later in the hour. Readyman, which we'll get into. But you know what's funny is I was actually just reading an article this morning. You or someone you know may be wearing one of those infidel T-shirts, right? If you are, please be wise about those shirts. It's fun. It's fun to poke fun at things, but you know, there's an article just recently about a man in Canada who was wearing one of those, and he ticked off the wrong person, and he ended up with an 8-inch knife wound in his stomach. So you're probably wondering, why am I talking about this? Why am I bringing this up today? The reason is because today's show is really designed to talk about personal defense, self-defense, with your prepping. You know, how to be more situationally aware. Number one, it's how to be wise. And we're actually just getting our guests in here right now, so there might be a little commotion going on behind me. But the reality is oftentimes we don't know what to do, how to do it, how to be ready, how to be aware. And so, with it being Veterans Day, I figured I'd bring in some of the coolest guys I know that happen to be vets. It's Readyman, and they're actually a local Utah company. We've got Jeff here, and Evan's going to be joining us in a little while. Shortly. He gave me a call. His babysitter is running behind.
You guys make me nervous getting here a little bit late.
Well, you know, it's the realities of life. Throw wrenches in best laid plans.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jeff, now that you're here, tell us about Readyman. How did Readyman come to be?
Readyman came to be because essentially as a group of guys that got together and we enjoyed doing the stuff that we were already doing in the military. And then, you know, we saw things like Katrina and Hurricane Sandy, and it was like, man, there's really this void out there of knowledge. And so it was like, hey, let's use our expertise and some of our contacts to see if we can't help some folks out. And so then we started filming and whatnot, and found out it was like, hey, a lot of this stuff is actually a lot of fun, and we had a good time filming it and stuff. And said, hey, let's see if we can't make a business out of this, and see if we can't help some folks out, teach some classes, do some video content, and then that grew into some of our products that we were doing, and you know, and it's taken on a life of its own at this point. So it's been a great ride.
Sounds like the beginnings of PrepperCon.
Not quite as fun. PrepperCon beginning
a lot of work.
More hard work and craziness. You guys are basically just taking what you were already doing, which is awesome, and transitioning it into a global reach effort to help train, help develop, which I totally tip my hat to. I think that's awesome.
Now, Jeff, you're, I guess, former Green Beret.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
And you're known as Nonak 007.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, that's what you have on the website anyway.
By those who try to tickle my sense of humor, yeah.
So who
They
actually
also said I didn't have any fashion sense, which is completely incorrect.
Now you're the brilliant mind behind the survival tool sets, right?
I am, yeah. I mean, that was you know, I'm the basis for it, but there was a lot of collaboration that went into that too. So I can't claim the whole thing as much as I'd like to. You know, we've got a group of guys that were on there, and so I you know, at any given time, because I'm an inventor anyways, and I've got several patents where I'll start going down rabbit holes, and so that's where you know, my business partner Evan is. We're great yin and yang in that respect, because he can tell me that I'm running down a rabbit hole that's going to be productive, or a rabbit hole that's going to just lead to the bottom of the earth and to turn around. So
team is, as we really discovered here at PrepperCon, team is essential, absolutely essential to a good team. Let me turn this mic over to Rory here.
So Evan just walked in. Well, we're gonna do a little shuffle. So sorry guys, we're one mic short right now, but we're gonna be bringing in another mic here in a minute for Shane, the prepared guy, to get back on the radio. But Evan's here now. We've been talking a little bit about Readyman. Just started talking to Jeff about the survival cards, which is kind of my geek out moment. I love those cards. You know, we've actually already used your lockpick set to get into my father-in-law and mother-in-law's house. They have the old master bedroom was my father-in-law's mother's room until she passed away. Well, after she passed away, nobody knew where the key was, and someone locked one of the doors in that room. Nobody could get in. And I was like, oh wait, let's try this. Pulled out my kit. My sister-in-law, I had to leave for work. She pulled it apart, unlocked the door just after watching your YouTube video in less than 3 minutes. Had it figured out.
Wow.
I was like,
That means I'm either a really good instructor or those locks weren't very good.
I'm gonna go with option A on that one. But that was awesome. I mean, they're actually tools you can use. And for those of you who have no clue what we're talking about, I'm gonna throw it up on our YouTube feed. Our Facebook feed. But why don't you describe what they are, Jeff, so that they can better understand, because I know my knowledge is a little short on it.
So the Kidnap Escape card was one of the first products that we released on Readyman, and what it is, it was to complement our live training course that we do that's hostage escape, kidnap avoidance. And so really what the card is, it's more of a vehicle to teach people to open up their minds and see the possibilities of, even if you're in a dire situation, there's always a way out. So whether that's a flood or that's a forest fire or something, with a little bit of preparation, a little bit of training, a little bit of forethought, you can get yourself out of those bad situations. And so the hostage escape, kidnap avoidance course that we do with the card is one of those. It's a cool way to get people to open up their minds and start thinking, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's where I saw you guys online quite a while ago, and I saw that card, and it opened up my mind. I learned how to pick a lock when I was in high school, but to actually have a card say, if in case you get kidnapped, here's something that can help you out. And I thought, well, what a great idea. I never thought that could happen to me. But I think if everyone considers that a possibility, then at least they can prepare mentally for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also one of those things where we've seen, over and over again where people were taken hostage or kidnapped. The potential for escape was there, but just because of the psychological, the daunting psychological event that they were experiencing, they, for whatever reason, didn't try to secure their own release and went through, horrific times or whatnot. And we saw multiple escapes happen in Iraq and Afghanistan from people who had been taken captive.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about some of the other tools. I know you guys have a wilderness survival card that's got, I don't know if it's called a wilderness survival card, but it's got fishing hooks and lures and stuff you can put together. Oh, he's got one on hand right there. Tell us about that card. I think that's such a fun card because Utah's such an outdoorsman country or area. I think it's got so many cool uses. I noticed one of them is kind of a trident spear tip that you can use for fishing with spear.
Sure. So
or anything else.
I mean, what we figured out was as we were learning the technology and and opening up our minds to the possibilities of the manufacturing techniques that we were using, it was like, hey, let's right after the escape card, it was, hey, let's go crazy and let's really see how much stuff we can cram into one piece of metal that's the size of a business card. And so that's where we came up with the wilderness survival card. All of us sat around a table, and we'd all been through SEER training, which is Survival, Evasion, Resistance, Escape, which is the Army's or the military's version of, basically survival school. And we said, okay, what are all the things that were really hard to figure out or do while we were at SEER school or in other various types of survival trainings that we were in? And we said, hey, let's see what we can put in here. So with the wilderness card on the top of it, we've got a serrated edge, and then below that is a wood saw for making snares and notches in wood and for shelter and whatnot. And then we've got the trident that you were talking about that you can bend around a stick, and that's for frogs or for fish, spearing fish. And then we've got an arrowhead. We've got a ton of fish hooks on there that are built into it, a couple of sewing needles. There's a small game arrowhead that's there for impact, and you can put wire around that. So it's got some wings on there to put wire around it so that you can snag birds and whatnot. And then it's got some lures that you can use with the fish hooks in case you can't find any worms. And then we've got snare locks. There's another piece that's a little bit bigger. You bend those and you can turn them into snare locks. And then we've got tweezers on one side for removing splinters to avoid infection out in the wilderness, which can really gum up your hands or your feet. And then we've got a sewing awl so that you can make minor repairs to clothing or light pieces of kit that you may be carrying. So, you know, we really worked on that to get it going. And then we've actually, coming up soon, you know, we're working on another version of the wilderness card. It'll probably come out next spring is what we're looking for, and it will blow this one away.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm really excited. That's my geek out opportunity for next spring. Now, Evan, you're here now, so let's talk to you for a second as well.
Great.
We're going to be heading into a break in about a minute and a half,
Cool.
but tell us your background and how you got involved with Readyman.
So I spent the last 15 years being
Yeah, get right up into the mic.
right up in there. I spent about the last 15 years being a Green Beret, so I became a Green Beret around 2000. Before that, I was an infantryman. After that, I actually went to work for the agency for about 9 years, and I was doing their most significant protection work in the most hostile regions. And then I actually went over and developed their training doctrine for advanced pistol targeting tactics. So I've spent the majority of my adult life in the most remote and hostile regions of the world. I spent
Wow.
about 7 years combined between Iraq and Afghanistan in the most dangerous cities in those countries. So from my experience coming over to Readyman, interfacing with the already existing owners, Jason and Chad, you know, prepping for me has never been defined as like prepping. It's just my life. I mean, I've spent my adult life in a post-apocalyptic world, so
That's true.
I don't really define it. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm a prepper. No, I really
It's just who you are.
yeah, I got a Glock and a knife, and I'll be all right. You know?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
that's kind of
you've
a
also
joke.
got skills. I mean, that's the thing I think a lot of people forget about in preparing. You think about all the things you need, but you don't think about the skills you need.
And the mindset that you need.
And the mindset, yeah. And I think that's most people's missing piece in preparedness. You know, I've started associating myself as a prepper about 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
Before that, I mean, I've been doing wilderness survival and food storage and trying to get skills, and I can build shelters like crazy. That's my fun thing. That was my hobby as a high school kid. Like, we'd go camping, I built a shelter. You know, that was one of my skills that I think I'm still pretty dang proficient at. But for each person I've come across, they've got one skill set that they are far surpassing in their others. But I think a lot of us have gaps, and I think that's where we need groups like Readyman to help fill those gaps, because you guys have skill sets that you've trained, you know, the basics perfectly, so drilled in that it's kind of the perfect instruction.
Yeah.
You know, for us that are still struggling or maybe want to enhance our skills, it's a great opportunity for us to really understand better how to do what you guys do, what you guys were trained on. This is the fun part, is having not been military, but having a little brother that is and a brother-in-law that is, and hearing all the cool stories from boot camps and ranger school and just survival schools, and I'm blown away. I'm like, man, why don't they do this in scouts? You know?
I think a lot of what Readyman teaches are skills that you can't really, or are much more difficult to learn by yourself, online or or by yourself. But we're going into a break here, so we'll see you on the other end.
What is this, white snake?
No, yeah.
This is probably one of your moves.
No, this is one of hers.
I knew it. I did something with my hair. I did.
Yeah, we usually come in with what song?
The Armory Shooting Range, located at 248 West 9210 South in Sandy, is Utah's newest and largest indoor shooting range. The Armory features 18 climate-controlled lanes with state-of-the-art target carriers and air systems. The Armory has a vast selection of rental guns for use on the range, including machine guns. The Armory's facility and firearm training programs are designed with your personal safety and enjoyment as a priority. Many services are offered, including classes, gunsmithing, and a cutting-edge training simulator. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced marksman, the in-depth training, highly qualified instructors, and custom-designed facility will get you to where you want to be as a shooter. Head on in to experience the newest indoor shooting range in the state, just off the freeway at 248 West 9210 South in Sandy. Online at armoryshootingrange.com or call 801-447-1789. The Armory Shooting Range, just off the freeway at 248 West 9210 South in Sandy.
Did you see the news website?
Is your furnace giving you trouble? Or perhaps you didn't get around to replacing that old AC unit? CTR Heating and Air is the locally owned and operated HVAC company you can trust. Check them out on Amazon. They're also Get-Hard approved and have years of experience that will assure your home is the perfect temperature all year round. Turn to the experts. CTR Heating and Air is an authorized dealer for Carrier, the leading name in furnace and air conditioning systems. Yes, CTR Heating and Air offers the best price in quality furnace and AC equipment, but they also service most manufactured brands. And CTR will always provide you with a straightforward assessment of the service required to have your furnace or AC unit running smoothly and efficiently. Get ready for the cold weather. Take advantage of CTR's early bird furnace tune-up special for the low price of $39, or a complete furnace diagnostic for only $59, free with any repair. Call today, 801-999-4220. That's 801-999-4220. 801-999-4220. Or visit them online at ctrheatingandair.com.
For some, the Festival of Trees has been a tradition for generations. For others, the Festival of Trees is a tradition waiting to begin. Enjoy 800 decorated Christmas trees, wreaths, centerpieces, gingerbread creations, playhouses, and quilts. Satisfy your sweet tooth with candies, cakes, scones, and sweet rolls. There are activities especially for children, live entertainment, and shopping for gifts. Santa will be there too. The most important part of the Festival of Trees is that every penny raised benefits children at Primary Children's Hospital. Doors open Wednesday, December 2nd through Saturday, December 5th from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Saltown Expo Center. Tickets available at the door. $6 for adults, $3 for children ages 2 through 11, $5 for senior citizens. Wednesdays is Family Day, where $18 admits up to 6 immediate family members. Discount tickets can be purchased at most Zions Bank branches. For more information, visit festivalofTreesUtah.org.
I think it's actually plugged in over there.
How long did the commercial break?
About 2 minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to PrepperCon Radio. We are excited to be here. We've got Readyman in studio. We're putting in our third mic right now, so thank you for bearing with us and hanging in there during the first 20 minutes. It's only going to get better from here. So, one of the things I want to point out is, again, it is Veterans Day. It's one of my favorite holidays. It's a day to really commemorate and thank everyone who served. It's an awesome day. For me, on the way in, I got goosebumps. As I was driving in the 215, I saw a veteran in uniform holding up an American flag on an overpass on my way in, and he was saluting every car that came by. To whoever that man is, thank you for being a great example for all of us. Our local Boy Scouts where I live in Bountiful, they put flags out in everybody's yard in the entire neighborhood, and it is awesome. Our guests today are both veterans. They have veteran companies that are just anything I can find that's an entrepreneurial endeavor. And then if you throw in the mix that they're veterans of the armed services, it's even cooler for me because those are two things that I really love. I never had the opportunity to serve, so thank you guys for being here in studio. Thank you for the service that you performed. I know you guys hear this all the time, and every time you hear this, you're probably like, dude, that was so much fun for us. But thank you. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart.
Absolutely, thank you guys.
Thanks for your support. We really appreciate it.
So we're pretty excited for the rest of the show, for the rest of the hour. We want to get some involvement with you guys that are listening. We've got some survival cards that we're going to be giving away from Readyman today. We've also got our call-in line. If you want to get in touch with us, you can dial 801-254-5855. That's 801-254-5855. Call in with questions on survival, on self-defense and protection. These guys are experts in these fields. They may not say it, but I'm going to say it. These guys know what to do.
Very humble guys. I've got a question, if I could chime in.
Let me see if your mic's
Can you
connected.
hear me?
Try that again.
Can you? Okay. How am I? Testing. Check.
I hope that's working.
All right. My question is, how does the average citizen, the average person, get involved with you guys, and what do you have to offer them?
Well, the easiest way to get involved with us is to go to readyman.com, so just standard spelling, readyman.com. Check out the website. We've got plenty of options there to join. And then we've also got a blog on our store, so we sell all the things that we design, manufacture, and then put out. So everything is in our store, and it's readymanstore.com. But without pitching all our products, I guess it's the biggest way to get involved is just go to Readyman and check it out. See what we have to offer. What I tell people is this is the premier online content subscription-based product that anyone is offering right now. So you're not going to be able to go to YouTube, and you'll scour YouTube for literally days to try to find all the information that you would find here. But then you're not going to find, like we do, Readyman Challenge, right? So we invite guys from the community out, and guys that are not necessarily Readyman members, we invite them out to spend time with us. We do a lot of online interaction with the webinars prior. Then we do a live training event, which could be anything from firearms, home defense, medical, fitness. We do a whole fitness thing now too. And then we roll right into what's called the Readyman Challenge. And the Readyman Challenge, for instance, our last one, so we set up this scenario. It's a post-apocalyptic scenario where we taught people how to escape restraints, and then we put them into a 2-day evaluation, and we would train them, and then we would put their teams against each other in a task. So they had 2 days to basically survive off everything they could procure from basically a junk vehicle, so they had nothing else.
Awesome.
We filmed all that. We made 8 episodes out of that, which we're releasing, and there's a lot of teaching points in there. Like, guys just say, oh, I'm going to go out and I'll be able to start a fire off my battery, or I'll be able to do this. And brothers, I'll tell you right now, it was not an easy task for these guys.
Oh, no. And from doing it myself, being a novice, not someone who trains on this all the time, it's hard to start a fire without a lighter.
Absolutely.
Flint and steel is tough enough.
Mm-hmm.
A car battery and the little steel scrubbers, I mean, that's even harder. Bow drill, exponentially more difficult. And a hand drill. It's tough. It's crazy. We actually have a caller right now. Let's go ahead and take that caller on line 3 here. Hello, caller. Welcome Thanks for calling in today. You're on air with us. Do you have some questions? And it's not working. Are you there?
Well, I guess one thing I was going to say while you're figuring out this call is that I'm hungry for this kind of stuff.
Right.
And you guys invited PrepperCon out. We came out and shot with you at the range. It was absolutely fantastic. A lot of fun, great instruction. And as I'm surfing YouTube, looking for great instructional videos, there are a lot of different methods, a lot of different philosophies on self-defense, on all the stuff you guys teach. And what I've found, what I've realized is that...
Shane, I don't think your mic's picking up.
Okay, let me switch to the mic here. Sorry. I guess what I was saying here is that if you jump on YouTube, you can find a lot of different videos, but they may not all be correct principles. And you guys have real-world experience, real-world experience on how to do this right, on how to really train other people, and not just rely on people who you don't know what their background is on YouTube. And I mean, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I think you're absolutely correct. In YouTube, if you look at the internet now, it's literally a sea of content that's out there, and the problem is you don't know if that sea of content has got good edible fish or kind of bottom feeder sucker fish. And
Absolutely.
So what we want to do, there's some great content out on YouTube. Absolutely, for sure. But what we want to create with Readyman was an area that people could come where they knew that the information was credible and it was coming from people who knew what they were talking about. So kind of that one-stop shop for some of those skills.
Well, and the other thing that YouTube doesn't really offer is interaction. So we want the involvement of the community. So we're not saying we have all the answers at Readyman, but if we put out questions to the community, we'll go out and try to search for the solutions and the most competent solutions. So, Jeff and I have literally thousands of hours in training people. And, to be quite frank with you, there's nobody in the nation that can compete with our experience in home defense and firearms. There's literally nobody. And so you can go on YouTube, and I'm not saying that because I want to boost my ego. I'm doing a very direct comparative analysis to the people that are out there. And there's literally nobody with the amount of experience that we have. And it's super hard to come by people that have been living in a kind of a post-apocalyptic world for as long as we have as well. So the experience of Readyman is something that people will be involved in a community. We're getting ready to launch this thing called the Plan to Survive. And oh my God, guys, it is... Really? It will shave literally hundreds of hours of research for guys. Hundreds of hours of research. Absolutely.
Okay, that's going to be
a lot of
awesome.
time online.
Let's hurry and take a call.
Cool.
Hello, caller. You are on air with PrepperCon Radio.
Oh, thank you. If you don't have computer access, do you have a phone number you can call? And also, are you giving away cards, did you say?
We are giving away cards. Do you want one of those cards saved for you?
I would love it.
All right, what is your first name? We'll have it at the front desk for you.
Okay. My name is Lynette.
All right, thank you for calling, Lynette.
Awesome. Well, cool. We'll have one of those for you. Now, do you guys have a phone number for Readyman? Or?
Absolutely. We have two guys now. Unfortunately, Lynette, the Rory, the guy that he answers the phone, his wife's having a baby today, so we'll actually return your phone call. But I'll put out the number. It's 866-395-0325. So it is 866-395-0325. You can call us literally, between standard working hours, and you can also reach us at info at readyman.com. You can email questions, concerns, anything to Jeff and myself as well.
Yeah, I don't have email.
Okay.
But
Good for you. I wish we didn't either.
I could go to the library, but I just don't have internet access.
Right.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for calling in. We appreciate your time, and we'll have this card here for you at the front desk.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, I'm not sure which day I'll be able to get down there, but thank you.
We'll leave it up there for you.
I'm excited. Okay, thank you.
Another thing I had, of course, noticed in doing my online research, there are a lot of companies out there that provide training, but it's very expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's one of the things that we really wanted to put out to the community. I mean, we really do consider people with the same type of frame of mind, like it's just a big extended family, right? Now, granted, you all everybody has their crazy uncles, so we're not.
I think that's turning into me and my family.
I'm
there too.
So, our big thing is we want to get people involved. We want to get people involved in Readyman. We want to make sure that it's a very comprehensive community where people can have fun. Because this is the big thing with prepping. There are so many different aspects to prepping that are all considered hobbies in another world, right? So, what I tell people is like, man, preparedness is cool and it's fun. It's way better for me than watching a football game or something else. Like, all these things are super cool. So we went out and we said, we want to give everybody a reduced rate in training. So a perfect example of that is I'm teaching just a 2-day pistol course, or Jeff and I both are teaching this pistol course 2 days down in Los Angeles, and that course is $10,000. I mean, that's what's wow. But for Readyman members, we give them a huge reduction in price. So a regular weekend course will cost you about $375. So, that's a huge reduction. But once again, that's Readyman. So these guys came to Jeff and Evan, and they're like, hey, can you guys teach a course? We're like, absolutely. Not a problem. We'll go down there for you. But just for the weekend. So if you're a Readyman member, literally you get access and a huge reduction in price.
Now, is your schedule on your website now that anyone that's listening in ears reach, they can see what's going on, what states?
Absolutely.
Point,
yeah.
Sign up.
Yep, a current calendar will be up on the site by the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So.
Awesome.
We just literally launched our brand new site yesterday, and so we're filling in a couple of gaps. But literally by the end of today, that the calendar will be up to date and people will be able to sign up.
Well, it's a beautiful new website. I love it. Autoplay a video in the background as soon as you hit the website. Just shows the diversity of what you guys are doing and a lot of different faces. Readyman's a lot bigger of an organization than I even realized.
Right.
When I first met Rory, and then I met Jeff, and then Evan, just from there it's just grown exponentially. I feel like every time I walk into the office, there's 3 or 4 new faces that I don't know or maybe have seen once or twice. But it's a huge organization. The thing I love about it is it's this huge mind pool of knowledge and skill that you guys all bring together to make this happen. And for me, prepping has always been, it's a lifestyle. It's not just a hobby. It's just how you choose to live your life. You know? Just like one of my buddies, he's a big, avid outdoorsman, and he hates the word prepper because he's like, it's trying to define all my hobbies and all my fun stuff. And he's like, and it defines them poorly by the standard because realistically, the reality is the TV show Doomsday Preppers did a horrible thing for the prepper world because it made it look like we're all crazy. Well, Doomsday Preppers, let's put that at one end of the spectrum. That is the crazy. That is the I'm going to live in a bunker by myself in the woods, canning my own food and eating squirrel. That's one end of the spectrum. But then
sounds awesome.
Goes all the way to the other end.
Squirrel. Huh? What is it?
Squirrel. Okay, bugs, but you probably like bugs too because you've done that. But yeah, the reality is it's this whole spectrum of skills and abilities and mindset and. What we're going to be heading into a break here in a few minutes, but when we come back, let's talk about what people can do, and maybe some of the misbeliefs on self-defense and protection that people have that can help the listeners now. Because I think one of the biggest things people think of is, if I'm carrying a gun, I'm safer.
Oh, wow.
Well, no. There's some realities that go along with that. Or, I'm carrying a knife, I'm safer. Well, still, there's realities. So if you guys can kind of focus on that, and before we head into the break, maybe give us one or two of the top things that you find in your training as you're helping people that they come to you with that they're like, oh, I'm set because I've got this.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue that I've seen is that people have a false sense of reality, and they've never necessarily put themselves through a wicket of stress that kind of galvanizes whatever experience they may or may not have with whatever weapon system. And that could be your fist, it could be your baseball bat, or whatever it is. Stress in acute amounts of stress, it actually causes the body to react in a way that if you've never been in that situation, you'll find out new and very interesting things about you. You have to train for the stress just as much as you have to, be competent with your pistol. So we don't, put people through like an interrogation sequence or something like that. But what we try to do, you guys can hear the sound of my voice. Like, I'm not like yelling at people or like, you gotta be a Green Beret. No, dude, but you definitely have to train for the stress. Then at the same time with the stress, you've got to be competent at the basic skills of handling whatever weapon. But you've definitely got to figure out what that is, because there are some people, a firearm might not be the greatest choice. You might just go with like a can of bear spray. Wasp spray. Yeah, and Jeff probably has some more to offer on that.
I think that's just one of those things where it's to make sure that it's like in the sea of content that we talk about on the internet. It's making sure that your training that you're doing, whatever that is backed by essentially is backed by science. The biggest thing that we run into is we find with folks with firearms, religion, politics, and working out. It's like if their dad taught them that way, then that's the way that it is, and getting people to change their mind can be really tough.
Thank you. We'll be right back with Readyman after a message from our sponsors.
Hi, this is Alan Blood with Capital Financial Group. With home values increasing and low rates still available, now is the perfect time to refinance your home. Capital Financial Group, we have loan programs to fit your refinance needs, whether you want to pull cash out from your home, decrease your interest rate and monthly payment, or just reduce your loan to a 15-year payoff. We have programs that will help you refinance even if your income or credit is less than it used to be, or if you're underwater on your mortgage. Instead of getting lost in the shuffle of a big bank or paying high fees at a credit union, call us and we'll help you refinance with the best rates and lowest closing costs for you. You may even qualify for one of our no closing cost loans. Call me today, Alan Blood, at 801-298-5887 to start saving money on your mortgage now. 801-298-5887, NMLS number 3146.
I'm smiling because I can enjoy my life again without worrying about the IRS or how I'm going to support my family. My friends told me about TaxDebtPros.com, a local Utah full-service tax resolution company. The professionals at TaxDebtPros.com did a free case analysis and explained everything to me clearly in a language I can understand. They got right to work, and now I'm paying a small portion of what I did before. The best part is I got my life and smile back.
Do you have IRS problems? The local experts at TaxDebtPros.com assist business owners and individuals in resolving tax issues. They can help reduce your tax debt and penalties, assist with IRS audits, stop wage garnishment, tax liens and levies, and prepare unfiled tax returns. Get help now. TaxDebtPros.com will completely handle your case with the IRS and take your stress away so you can start smiling again. Visit them online at TaxDebtPros.com or call them today, 801-878-0363 to schedule your free case analysis.
I recently met with a homeowner who was ready to retire but felt trapped in his job because his retirement funds had gone down substantially over the last few years, and he needed the income from his job to make payments on his home. Reviewing his options, he realized a reverse mortgage would pay off his current loan, give him some money to take care of much-needed repairs, and eliminate his monthly mortgage payment completely. If you own your home, you're 62 or older, you may qualify for a reverse mortgage that will help you meet your retirement goals. I have years of experience helping Utah homeowners and will help you find the right solution for your financing needs. With a 10-minute call, I can help you find out how you qualify and how a reverse mortgage can help you. Call me today, Alan Blood, 298-5887. That's Alan Blood with Capital Financial, 801-298-5887, NMLS number 3146.
Here's a program reminder from Canyon Creek Assisted Living and Memory Care. Canyon Creek is co-sponsor of the K-Talk Season Citizens Hour, now at 12:05 Saturday afternoon. This is Rich Dixon, host for the program, and we'll be telling you this week about active folks over age 55 who are still making things happen. Ideas about health, wealth, and wisdom, and news from Canyon Creek. They're at 7235 Union Park Avenue, described by its residents and their families in glowing terms. Quote, "I've never seen a speck of dust at Canyon Creek. It's close to popular stores and is immaculately clean. A real creek runs through the garden. Lots of fresh air. It's beautiful. They fulfill requests for certain food for my grandmother, and I'm so pleased." To reach Canyon Creek, call 801-568-9909. Arrange a tour of the Canyon Creek facilities and listen to their radio show now, Saturdays at 12:05.
All right, we are back at PrepperCon Radio on K-Talk, and I am way too loud right now. If you're just checking in, it's AM 630 K-Talk Radio. This is the PrepperCon Hour, and we've got Readyman here. If you want to connect with us, feel free to call in at 801-254-5855. We've got Jeff and Evan here today, and we were actually, during the break, talking a little bit about PrepperCon, some of the things we had. Let's just kind of continue that discussion for a second. These guys were at PrepperCon, and they had one of the funnest booths. Everyone's coming by, testing your lockpick sets. In addition to that, we've actually added a new component for this year, which we haven't named it yet. We'll call it the Shoot House for now.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeff actually helped us design this. We're going to be building it together. But it's actually a home defense training simulator, basically. All right? Do you want to kind of briefly describe what we'll be doing with that?
Sure. So what we're going to incorporate is we've got a house that's built in, and we've got hallways and the angles. So you guys that are out there that have a little bit of knowledge, what we've done is we've incorporated doorways, hallways, and rooms, and essentially what it would look like in your standard house. And then what we're going to do is we're going to run people through the house so they can experience what it would be like to clear their own house in case they have to.
Absolutely. Which for me, that's going to be fun because I have no clue what I'm doing when it comes to that. I've watched YouTube videos, whoop-de-doo, right? Everyone's watched a million YouTube videos. And those are great entertainment pieces. This is awesome education, and that's what I want to really point out. It's from multiple trained professionals. That's what I love about Readyman, and I love about PrepperCon is it's given me the opportunity to meet all the experts, and it's totally buoyed my confidence and my skills because now I'm getting new skills and getting better at what I'm doing just by being around you guys and learning from you guys.
And of course, what I was going to mention is that we're talking about clearing a house here. With the shoot house, is that Scott and I'm sure Scott does. I know I do. When the kids are gone, the wife's gone, we go around the house and practice clearing the house.
Great.
What's your advice on that? Is that obviously that's something that can be very dangerous, probably one of the most dangerous things you can do. Probably best just to call the police and have them take care of your house. But if you're forced to, I mean, what's your take? What's your opinion on that?
My specific take on it is, that the police are a fantastic utility if they can show up in a timely manner, right? But if you have an immediate need to protect your home or your family, they're never going to be riding in your hip pocket. So what do you have? And there are a multitude of different tools that you can have in your home that can help you. And there's a lot of deterrent mechanisms, right, that are out there as well. So anything from the way that you actually do your landscaping to the type of doors that you use in the exterior to the windows to a security system to a dog to your interior doors. There's a lot that goes into just your home in just home defense. So a lot of people think I have a gun and I'm going to be okay. So when I say clearing your home is a fantastic idea, definitely to make sure that you have the angles down. But then you also have to look through your home to your neighbor's home and things like that. Because if you have a rifle or a pistol, sheetrock doesn't stop bullets, and your walls aren't armor. So you have to actually understand clear what I call sectors of fire in your own home, because there are going to be shoot and no shoot areas in your own home, and you're going to have to understand what those mean and how they translate into the way that you clear your home. So I tell guys it's a fantastic idea to clear your home, but you actually have to look at the way that your structure is designed and figure out a more proficient way of doing that.
I want to touch on something you started off with, is you talked about the home defense with how you do your landscaping. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What does that mean?
Yeah, so on your there's a lot. So with your landscaping, depending on what type of home that you have, so if you're living in a suburban area or rural area, you can actually landscape effectively to have clear avenues of approach. So you can understand very effectively where people are going to be walking from to your home, right? So you can actually predict the future based on the way that you construct your landscaping. If you have a giant tree or a moat somewhere, you're probably not going to have a truck pulling through there. So that's how I'm defining avenues of approach. Well, the same thing can be said on their structure itself. So rose bushes or something thorny, something a boulder in conjunction with a rose bush can be just effective as bars on the front of your window, and way less obvious that you're preparing for an entry in that through the door or whatever opening in your home. So now taking all of that into play and being able to channelize where the threat is coming from also happens in the interior of your home as well. So a lot of guys are using hollow core doors. They don't have solid core doors. They don't have interior locks. They don't have door jams. There's a lot of things that you can do that don't require you to spend, $100,000 on a safe room, for instance. It's a matter of just investing your time, energy, and effort a little bit more effectively. Just thinking about home defense, and nobody would actually know that that's what you had done. That's the beauty of it, is that nobody would know. They pull into your house, and it's like, wow, this guy's not wearing a tinfoil hat. But man, he is squared away.
But also at the same time, deterring or making your house not be an easy target, make it be a hard target by, like you say, maybe cutting down large bushes where someone could hide.
Oh, yeah.
Having appropriate lighting. Like on my house, I have locking window well covers. Just make it, because most of my kids are in the basement.
Right.
Making it a hard target where they're going to avoid your home altogether.
Sure, and not that you're picking on your neighbors, but your typical criminal that comes around, they're looking for the easy target. So if yours is the hard target, then it's a matter of moving on next door. If you've got the alarm system or you've got a dog, it's why take the chance?
Yeah.
Go next door, go to the next neighborhood, or the next city over. So it's that avoidance. One thing that we like to tell folks is, out of all the times that we drove or we were out working in Iraq and Afghanistan, we would spend an inordinate amount of time planning to make sure that we could avoid any fights. So we still have all of our fingers and toes because we avoided those fights at all costs.
Absolutely. I think avoidance is your best asset, really, in any situation. And also de-escalation. We actually have a caller. Let's bring that caller online real quick. Hello, welcome to K-Talk.
Yes, a question for you. Someone tries to break into my home. I have no gun. I often think about it. Should I just get a door and run out, or I don't have a hidden place inside? What's the best suggestion there?
Do you have family members?
No, I'll probably be alone at night.
Okay. Well, the first thing that I recommend for people is definitely in investing the effort to figure out exactly what exits that you can take through your home, right? And then the next thing is a deterrent device, so that you want to create obstacles, and obstacles come in several different forms. One of the best obstacles is literally pepper spray, and a little bit of soap and water after 24 hours, and that stuff's going to be gone. But I'll tell you what, that's one heck of a deterrent. And then creating obstacles, your doors. So as you withdraw to an exit, making sure that you have the means in order to lock your door from the interior, and that becomes very important. And then making sure that you have clearly defined routes outside of your home. And if you have a 2-story home, you've got to make sure that you have like a fire ladder or something like that, so you're not jumping from 2 or 3 stories down to the ground. So lots of obstacles and a little bit of prior planning.
And it's important to keep in mind too, there's nothing in your house. If you have no family members would be the only exception. There's nothing in that house worth your life. So evacuate the premises, call the police. If you don't, we teach people avoid the fight, and then if you have to fight, it's engage so that you can disengage and get away. So It's avoid, avoid, avoid.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah. Try to get away and, get away from the problem.
Absolutely, and call the police and let them do the job.
Yeah, I have a door I can take off to. It's not that I'm a coward, but what are you going to do? I mean, usually the guys that break in have something with them, whether it's a gun or a knife or something. So I'm in disadvantage.
Well, you're not, because this is the thing that people need to understand, is that human psychology is human psychology. Inherently, criminals are lazy. Like, they're just lazy. So any amount of resistance is pretty good. And when I say any amount of resistance is pretty good, you have to measure the willingness of whatever perpetrator to pursue you. And a heavy dose of bear spray will literally put somebody on the floor for an hour. And I know that from personal experience, because I went through an experiment last 6 months ago where I just got doused with bear spray. It put me down for an hour, a solid hour, and it puts out a huge cloud of basically pepper spray. So you have to think about it. Most people might have a gun, but if they can't see, it's going to be super hard for them to shoot back. And you've got to prepare yourself. And a good can of bear spray costs you what, $32 or something like that.
There you go. Hey, thank you for calling in. Do you want a survival card here for you? Oh, I think we lost him.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh well, could have had a survival card. So I think the biggest takeaway we can think of right here is just avoidance. Well, what if you can't avoid it? How can you de-escalate a situation? Is there some techniques that you guys use to, maybe you're out in a parking lot, or maybe you're not in your home, but you're out? My favorite scenario is I used to live in L.A., and I would not go to the Dodgers games because every time a Dodger game happened, there was a stabbing or a fight, or I just didn't want to. So I'd avoid those situations. But what if you're there and something happens? How can you de-escalate a situation?
Well, I think even before you go to de-escalation, one of the courses that we teach, we call it awareness equals safety. And so just being aware of your surroundings and identifying potential threats will keep you from getting caught flat-footed. So, the guy that's walking through the cloud and he's got the imaginary lat syndrome going on and he's looking for a fight, that's a great person to avoid. The person that's, looking around furtively and's got his hand in his pocket, probably a good person to avoid. So it's just being, in modern society, we've constantly got our faces in our phones, or we're caught up on what it is, the task at hand. Got your earplugs in, your earphones going, listening to music or a podcast. And so it's making sure that you're aware of your surroundings. I just taught a class to a group of women, and a couple of them came back, this same course, and a couple of them come back, and I challenged them. I said, hey, when you use some of these techniques and when you're driving home, you're going to notice things in your own neighborhood you'd never noticed before. And I've had one of them called me just the other day and said, you know what, the world is completely opened up to me at this point because I'm not driving down a tunnel where I'm thinking about the world's, what's going on with my family and friends, and my face is out of my phone. I'm noticing a bunch of stuff and actually enjoying life more and feel safer for it.
Awesome. Well, we are just about out of time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I really want to thank our guests. Jeff, Evan, you guys are amazing. Readyman is awesome. I love what you guys are doing. I think it's very worthwhile, and it can help a ton of people. Check out our Facebook page for more information on Readyman and what we talked about today. Thanks for tuning in, and have a fantastic day, everybody.
You will see more of Readyman along with PrepperCon.
Cool.